page 108. So yesterday we went through the idea of alat tzadikim, the righteous, and then the next bracha is coming up of binyan Yerushalayim, which means like this, that if we rely on the tzaddikim, we rely on the chassidim, when we join ourselves backwards into the chain that's going to take us back to Har Sinai, that means we're doing what we're supposed to do. So now we're ready to ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu to rebuild Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim ircha barachimim toshav, that should return to Yerushalayim, v'tishkoim b'seicha kasher dibata. So, of course, over here, Baruch Hashem, in the generation that we're living in, Yerushalayim is the most fantastic city. It's the most beautiful city in the world, and it's full of people. It's full of buildings. There's building going on the whole time. There's buildings everywhere. And so, what's it talking about when we ask for binyan Yerushalayim? What are we talking about? Rebuilding Yerushalayim. It's not talking about just the physical dimensions. Baruch Hashem, our generation, we see the physical dimensions of Yerushalayim being built, and we live in it, and we can appreciate it, and we can love it. But it's talking about the more spiritual dimensions as well of that right now is still missing. If it's Hashem, the Mashiach will come, and then Yerushalayim will be completely and absolutely rebuilt.
So how can we say Yechiru to Mefanecha at the end of the Shemoneh Esrei?
We'll get Mitzvah Hashem. We'll get there.
No,
we'll get there.
The same Shemoneh Beis Hamikdash.
Oh, we'll get there. 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 Rav Moshe, you're jumping ahead.
No, but I'm just trying to connect.
You know what'll happen when we get to that piece over there? He's going to go back and say, "How come it says Yerushalayim? How come it says that over there back there?" So, just I was scared you weren't going to come in today, because I actually opened up a sefer to try to get you an answer.
Did you get him?
Which is that's pretty depressing, because he can't even remember that he asked the question. So now, here, just to go back onto page 106. Yesterday, the question was, it says Hashivenu Shaftenu Karishona, that we should bring the Shoftim, the judges, back, and then it says V'yo'atzenu Kavatchila, and our counselors, advisors, right? And the Rabbi Scroll over here mentioned that the Yoatzim are the whatchamacallits, the prophets. So it's interesting that first of all, the context is like this: Hashivenu Shaftenu Kavarishona. The Shoftim, the judges, are the one who are going to take care of the physical dimensions of law, right? So that's what judges do nowadays as well, right? You know, somebody comes in front of a judge and he rules what needs to be done. That's the physical dimensions, the laws of Choshen Mishpat, the laws of Nezikin, right? Monetary laws and laws of damaging other people, torts, that kind of thing. All of that gets brought in front of the Shoftim. But the Yoatzenu, that's talking about the spiritual dimension. Again, it's interesting, this idea of the physical and the spiritual, working in tandem with each other. So the first dimension inside of the bracha is Hashivenu Shaftenu Kavarishona, that we should have the wherewithal to be able to be judged the way that we're supposed to be judged according to Torah law. That's the physical dimensions. The Yoatzenu Kavatchila, right? The Yoatzim, they're the ones that are going to take care of the spiritual dimensions. So the idea is like this: it is talking about the Nevi'im, right? Why are the Nevi'im called the Yoatzim? Because Lamaisa, the Nevi'im came and they gave spiritual advice to all and sundry, right? So, for example, David HaMelech had a personal Navi, a personal prophet who came and told him what to do and explained to him why he did things wrong. So the idea over here is this idea of being, why does it say the Yoatzenu and it doesn't say the Nevi'im? Why does it say the Nevi'im straight out? So I think the pshat is very simple, because we have a period of Nevi'im, we have a period of prophets, right? But after the prophetic era, then we still have Yoatzim, we still have people that we can turn to who can give us spiritual direction. Thank you very much. No, really. It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Besides the Nevi'im, other.
Yeah, which means that, again, spiritual role models, even in the time of the Nevi'im, right? There were plenty of rabbis around that were giving advice. There were plenty of Kohanim around in the time, temple times. The Kohanim were supposed to be spiritual role models as well, right? Which means that it wasn't just focused on the Nevi'im, which presumably is the reason why it doesn't use the word Nevi'im, and it uses rather the word Yoatzim, which includes everybody.
Kohanim, Nevi'im,
Rabbonim. Yeah. So after we prayed for Binyan Yerushalayim, which is the building of Yerushalayim, we then prayed for Malchus Beis David, because what's the point of having the Yerushalayim rebuilt and the spiritual dimensions of Yerushalayim put back into place if we don't have the Davidic dynasty, right? We need David HaMelech over here. If not him, then we need his direct descendant in order to rule over us. So es tzemach David avtecha mehero satzmiach, that he should flourish speedily. The kano itom b'shuasecha ki lishuascha kivinu kol hayom. This is what we're waiting for, right? In Mitzvah Hashem, when the Mashiach comes, the Mashiach, of course, is going to be a direct descendant of David HaMelech, and that means that we're going back into that Davidic dynasty. What we call a dynasty, what you people call, I think you call it a dynasty, but what don't ask.
How do we know that is it through the Father, and how do we know it's through the Father? I just got into an argument about this with my mother last night.
Good, okay. I mean, so long as you're arguing about, things
Turns
of...
out is an Irish descended English Protestant. It's not strange.
Who, King David?
No, my mother.
Oh, your mother. So it says like this, that your tribal status always goes through the male, right, through the father, which means that if anybody here a Cohen or a Levi?
I was just looking at my family tree yesterday, and it was like, I thought it was a Cohen.
Oh yeah.
I have to research someone else's background.
If you want to be a Cohen, then yeah, you'll have to research somebody else's background and tap into their tree instead. Just get yourself adopted or something. If you're a Cohen, Levi, those are the easiest ones to work out nowadays, because we don't really know which tribes we belong to. But if you're a Cohen and a Levi, that means you're going through the father to the paternal line all the way back, right? And that's allowing you to be a Cohen and a Levi today. That's where your status is coming from. Some people have family trees. Do you know how far back do you go? Do you know?
It's with the glances or just where I come from?
Just keep going, generationally. In your family tree, how far back?
1700s?
Oh yeah, wow, that's pretty good.
No, you tell me. Hold on.
No, you tell me.
Farthest I've gone back in my family tree on my father's side
It's one generation.
No.
Oh.
Is actually about to about the beginning of the Holocaust.
Yeah, that you said. I tell you what.
So yeah, a lot of records were lost during that.
Part of the problem, right? One of the most enormous losses, of course, the human life is immeasurable, right? But one of the sort of the biggest catastrophes after the loss of human life in the Holocaust was the loss of history. Many Ashkenazim can only go back, to just prior perhaps to the Holocaust, and that's it, because whole communities were wiped out, and their historical records were wiped out as well. Which is, it's very, very sad. It really is. It means that we've got a whole generation of people who you can't really go back further than, 3 generations, 4 generations. So if you can go back into the 1700s, that's pretty good. Anyway, how did we get onto that? I can't remember. But belonging to a right. So what tribe do you belong to? That goes through your father. Right. So for many people, it's kind of difficult to be able to work this one out because, like I said, so much history has been lost on the way that it's hard to know. Levim and Kohanim, it's a little bit easier because obviously that's something that's got a spiritual repercussion to it.
Why the father? Why not the mother? The mother's for it.
Oh, so what's the pshat? It says like this: a mother goes according to your Jewish status, goes according to your mother, right? So if a mother is Jewish, a child is Jewish.
Right.
Several reasons that are given for that, but the basic component is that the mother is the one who's responsible for the birth of the child, right? And it's an internal, your relationship, your Jewish identity is a very internal concept, right? It's something which has got an inner dimension to it. So the idea of being inside of the womb and the whole idea of it, that birth being an internal dimension that connects together to the internal dimension of your Jewish status. So if you're Jewish, it goes through the mother. Tribal connection is a much more external thing.
So the Mashiach lineage is a tribal connection?
So the Mashiach has to come from the tribe of Yehuda, from Judah, right? Not only does he have to come from the tribe of Yehuda, but he's got to come in a direct line back to King David. And that's going to
I
be.
thought it was always referred to as the line of Ruth, which King David was.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it, right? But what are you doing on the way? You're starting off with Ruth, and
Then
King
end
David's
up,
appearing as a great grandchild, right?
Right.
And then moving upwards, right? So long as you can get back, look, I mean, by definition, if you're going back to King David, then you're going back to Ruth as well, because that's where King David came from.
Right, but I mean, like, it's very rare that I hear it referred to as the line of King David. I
Oh,
always
really?
hear it
Okay.
referred to as the line of Ruth.
It's interesting. Okay. I don't know. I mean, that's to me that's because the whole thing over here is that we want somebody who's going to be able to direct descendant of King David, because he's going to rule over us as a Mashiach, right? So that the idea of it being connected to King David makes perfect sense, because it's this idea of King David ruled over us and the Mashiach will rule over us, which means like this: the Mashiach is going to have to trace his roots back tribally into the tribe of Judah, and he's going to have to be a direct descendant of King David in order to fulfill the criteria of being the Mashiach.
Why couldn't he trace his tribal lineage to the tribe of Yehuda through his father, but be related to King David
Yeah,
and
I was
his
just
mother?
gonna ask that. Wait.
Because I mean that means first of all he's going to be from the tribe of Judah on both sides, right, from his father and his mother, but the direct connection is going to be through the mother to King David. The problem with that is that when it comes to dynasties, right, when it comes to what are they called? Monarchical. Can you say that? Monarchical dynasties, right? The monarchy.
Oh,
Not a monarchical. Monarchical. When it comes to dynasties, huh?
Monarchical?
Is that how you say it?
Monarchy.
Monarchy.
The monarchy.
The monarchy. Well, when it comes to being king, right? It goes down through the male line and not through the female line, right?
Because the kingship aspect of Mashiach that makes it patrilineal.
Yeah, that makes it patrilineal. The mother, of course, has to be Jewish. That's going to make you Jewish. And again, the mother comes from different. It doesn't matter which tribe the mother is going to come from. She doesn't have to come from the tribe of Yehuda. She could come from different tribes instead.
So how can one be in the line of King David, but not be in the tribe of Yehuda?
You can't.
Well, I mean, like you said, that was the two requirements. By saying that those are the two requirements,
I mean,
it makes
was
it
in the tribe of
kind of
Yehuda,
makes
so
it
if
seem
you're not in
like.
the tribe of Yehuda, you can't
Well, no,
be
but I mean,
descendant
like the
of King David.
wording kind of implies
Okay,
that it's possible.
I apologize. No, I apologize for not being clear enough. I mean, what I meant is like this: that in order for somebody to be the Mashiach, he's got to come from the tribe of Yehuda, and he's got to be directly descended from King David.
Those are the two
Right.
requisitions.
And he's gonna
Right,
he's
those
gonna
are the
prove
two
this to us?
qualifications.
Yeah.
Saying that kind of implies that you can be from the line of King David, but not in the tribe of
No, it
Yehuda.
implies that you can be from the tribe of Yehuda, but
Oh.
not from King David.
Hold on a second. No, but it is possible if you're going through the mother. You could be related to King David from your maternal side, and your father could come from a different tribe instead.
Yeah, which means you can be tribally affiliated with the tribe of Yehuda, but not with King David. It doesn't imply that you can be.
No, if your mother comes no.
Comes from a different shape.
If your mother could come from the tribe of Yehuda, right, which means that you could have some kind of a connection
You
through
don't-
your mother
you don't
to.
get tribal
No, you don't get it. That's
lineage
all I'm
through your
saying,
mother.
right? Which means that a person could be genealogically attached to King David without being in the tribe of Yehuda, because the genealogical connection is coming through the mother, not through the father.
I thought just your Jewish status comes to the mother, but your lineage,
Yeah, but here, right? Your family tree. Everybody's family tree goes off in different directions, right? That's why it's a family tree. It's got branches to it,
And
right?
to be like, you have to know where other people, like, I need my mom's family tree as well.
Yeah, all right.
It-
But
it's-
what do you do
You
if you
basically need family trees for everyone.
if you've got your mother's family tree and you've got your father's family tree? So Lamaisa, what are you doing? You're combining the two together.
Become your own tree.
And
Right,
then I
you're-
need Henry Lance's family tree as well to see if I'm a Cohen.
We're not going to talk about that. I mean,
don't
Henry
have to
Glantz.
talk about
I'm sorry, but that's this is a family show. And,
So if you go back like to 30s or something, assume how many generations is that?
Well, you could count them through, but it's difficult. It's difficult to measure a generation because right now, according to statistics, a generation I think is hovering around 25 years, right? But Jewishly, generations are normally counted as going from one person to the next, right? So, your father is one generation and you're the next generation. Right? So it's not measured in Jewish terms. It's not really measured in linear in linear terms. It's just measured according to people. Right. So, for example, you can have somebody who's a great grandparent with all you've got a child, the parent, the grandparent, the great grandparent, and the great great grandparent. That's five generations in one room.